Coasters, it's Bruce here, and I'm with Kay Costley, and Kay was kind enough to accept the offer that the Coasters Club made to put together an interview to find out what Kay can bring to the people of the Grey District, and in particular the Northern Riding, or the Northern Ward, is it? Northern Ward, in the 2019 Grey District elections. Kay, thank you so much for actually giving us the chance.
Oh, well, thank you very much for following up when I let you know that I hadn't got an invite for some reason.
Oh,
I thought you didn't like me right from the beginning.
no, not at all, not at all. Coast connections. I mean, what's your connections?
Many and varied actually. My granddad, Arthur Robinson in Hokitika, he rode on his bike across Arthur's Pass in the Depression. And he was actually bringing fruit over from Christchurch to sell on the coast. And he brought my grandmother over. My mum was born in Hokitika.
This just gets better all the time. I'm loving this.
I know, yeah. And then Dad was in the forestry, so they moved away. So unfortunately, I was born on the North Island, but came back to Tocha Flat when I was 6.
Right.
And then we moved to Westport, and I finished my school in there. Then I went to Nelson for a while. And I came, hang on, I'm getting confused here. So it's about family. Sorry. It's about family. So, Mum still lives here. Well, she's come back to Greymouth. She tended to follow the family around.
Yep.
I have a sister in Blackpool and a nephew who was born in Greymouth. 2 great nieces who were born in Greymouth, and my niece is also here, and her husband.
So, look, if they all vote for you...
There's only 2 that aren't here.
Well, if they all vote for you, you're going to bolt it.
Oh, mate, none of them live in my paddock.
Oh, you're joking! Oh, no. What about your previous work experience? What have you done?
Well, I've had a lot of previous lives. I started off when I left school in a couple of different laboratories, just doing research work. And then as part of my study, I was flicking through a handbook one day and forestry jumped out at me. So I sort of hopped on that boat and had 8 years in the forestry and worked supervising gangs in Hera Forest outside of Nelson. After that, I had a year in sales. Then I went posting, which I really, really enjoyed. So
What's it called? Posting?
Posting. Riding a bike around Nelson delivering mail.
Oh, I've been a postie.
I
love it.
So,
Oh.
yeah. And I continued to study. I actually got my extramural degree while I was post-year. It was,
Right.
it was like having a full-time job paid, but
Yeah.
you had half a day off every day. It was very cool. Loved it, yeah. And then I worked for ACC as a case manager for just 22 years. And as part of that, I came back to the coast in '99 then as a case manager for a 6-month secondment. And 20 years later, so the 1st of July was my 20th anniversary here on the coast. And most of the time that I've been on the coast, I've been with ACC. And then I sort of moved into adult literacy tutoring. I also work with kids that need to read or write or help with exams.
Okay.
And I'm also a bar wench at the Punakaiki Tavern, which I absolutely adore. So yeah, many and varied, lots of skills, lots of changing environments. Yeah, each time I seem to be right on the cusp of when things were changing into something else. So well versed with change.
Well, I've had many a beer with the
Oh yeah, he's a great bloke. He's a great
So
bloke.
when we talk about community involvement,
Yeah.
what about are you a community type person, or is it something that you're into?
Yes, it is. Today we're actually in the Left Bank Art Gallery. I am on the committee. I've been on the committee for a couple of years, the vice chair and treasurer.
Yeah.
I'm also involved with the Coast Road Heritage and Community Trust. So we're out on the Coast Road, and we've sort of been doing quite a lot of work with setting up civil defence plans for those groups that are going. We've sort of gone along and decided, where, when it hits the fan, when we're actually, the groups were going to be isolated by road, like blood falls and things like that.
It's a real concern, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. and also the Coast Road Dawn Chorus Group, which is sort of like tied up with Predator Free New Zealand. So we've got a track line just that runs from 12 mile to 17 miles. So we're tracking rats and stoats and.
Any luck?
Oh yes, we've got a huge number of rats this year. There was a big beach mast, and they're just everywhere.
Yeah, I've heard that. You're not the only person to say that.
But the stoats are starting to come back, and it's like if you can catch a kit, and then it's like over a period of about 2 weeks you end up with the whole family. So you've got a couple of kits, the mum and the dad, and it's just like, we're out of here.
Get a lot of them.
Yeah.
Now tell me about the northern...
The northern ward?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the area?
It's actually the smallest population of the wards.
Yeah.
It runs from the other side of the Cobden Bridge out to the Punakaiki River.
Oh, this side of the Punakaiki?
Yep, so it stops there and it runs through to that really sleazy hill that coming down before you go along the flat and up into Taylorville.
Oh,
So
yes?
it's that little piece there, just down from the go-kart track.
Oh, so that got tucked in as well?
Yes, yeah.
So it's quite a diverse sort
It
of area,
is,
isn't
it is. So it's got Renunga and Denali, Barrytown, Coal Creek. You know, it's got a lot of little small groups, but it's also got quite a long spread out look.
So your biggest area would be Renunga, I guess?
Yeah, the biggest population area, yeah.
Fantastic.
But you know, it's absolutely chock-a-block of all sorts of things, like, you know, Coast Road, one of the 10 best drives in the country, the Barrytown Port, which is really iconic, Mount George, the Point Elizabeth track, you know, it's the beginning of the inland pack track. It's just Creases track, yeah, it's just
Barrytown
full of places. I just can't imagine living anywhere else.
I wore my elbows out on the Barrytown pub when I was a young
I
fella.
bet you did.
And
they're alive again. and you know, they've done it up.
Isn't
it's
it
gorgeous.
wonderful?
Yeah, and I sort of popped in there yesterday to drop some posters off, and they were busy laying, of all things, ready lawn out in the front.
Oh, I
because
love
it
it.
had been so humpy and holiday. God, that
And isn't the school great?
Yes, yeah, I popped in there as well yesterday.
It's a great school. And actually, when I wander around Denali and Renunga, you know, there's some history there.
Yes.
We just don't realise, do we?
Yeah, I've been involved off and on with the Renunga Hall Trust,
Right.
And at this stage, I understand that it's, you know, you're just poised on the edge,
Getting
ready to
close.
sort of do the first stage of it. Yeah.
So, what moment of madness made you put your name forward? Or was it a moment of madness, or was it a time of need? Time we can add value?
I think last time round was a moment of madness. It was sort of, we were just having a vague conversation about 3 days before the nominations end, and Mike said to me, "You need to stand for council." And I was like, "Okay," and then it was full noise, you know,
Right.
because we had that really short period. So I've sort of been thinking about it off and on, and I came quite close last year. I was standing against Cliff in the Northern Ward and came, you know, a few more for me, a few less for him.
Well, Cliff's a good guy.
He is.
You know, Cliff's a good guy, and
He's been there for a long time.
he was an apprentice of mine
Oh, well, there you go.
many years ago, and he was a good guy then. So
Nothing's
changes.
changed.
So, you're into the campaigning? How's it going?
Oh, look,
What are you doing?
glad
Come
you
on.
asked that. Glad you asked that.
Everybody who comes into the Punakaiki Tavern will no doubt have to vote for you.
Well, they're mostly tourists, so they don't get to vote.
Yeah.
We sort of don't have a lot of locals that travel that distance. But yes, they'll see my photo in the window. At the moment, there's a poster in a lot of windows sort of through Renunga, and for a Meet the Candidates meeting that I've organised on Friday the 20th, so that's next Friday,
And
at
is that
7 p.m. at the Renunga Club.
Okay.
So that's a Meet the Candidates, the Northern Ward candidate.
So when,
Six.
whereabouts is it again?
So it's at the Renunga Club, Working
Right.
Men's Club,
Yeah.
Yep.
And what time?
and it's at 7 o'clock
And
on
it's next
Friday the 20th.
Friday
Next
the 20th. You better note that, folks, because it's a good time to meet this lady face to face.
Cool. And we've got six people standing, and I've got 4 that have committed to come along that evening. So we're putting on a few nibbles. So if you like hot chops and gravy, we'll be in.
Mate. Now look, okay, so phone rings on the 12th of October, and Paul Pretorius is on the phone. He says, "Kay, welcome to the council. What are you going to bring to the council?"
Wow, nothing but good, Bruce. Nothing.
Oh, I
but
love
good.
it. I just love that answer.
So I have had lived a lot of different lives and been in different places, and have taken active interest in what's going on. I read a lot, and I'm forever talking to people about different things. And I'm surrounded by quite a diverse range of people who are interested in different things. So, sort of my knowledge is being expanded all the time. I've worked a lot with legislation, a lot with report writing, with completing reporting stuff.
So you've had no
really
trouble.
Familiar with sort of that whole process.
Yeah, so you'll have no trouble working your way through the agendas and working out.
No, all 269 pages of them, no trouble at all.
Now listen, a strange question, but what blows your hair back?
I think it's the potential. The potential for local government to be much better than it is, to be much more open and inclusive and collaborative. I've been watching Tania as she's moving through, and it's like, some of the posts that she writes, some of the comments that she makes, it feels really
right?
close to home for me.
Wow.
It's the same sorts of things. And it's like, it feels very much at the moment, and has been for a wee while, and people I talk to, saying a general feeling of disgruntlement about how it's going, each time. It's like, I met this old guy yesterday, as funny as it might, and he thought I was just driving past, but I stopped and said, no, you're not going to get away that easy. And I introduced myself and I showed him my post.
Did he look like a voter?
Oh, I'm sure he would have.
Oh,
fantastic. I didn't actually ask him where he went. So anyway, I showed him my poster because I was dropping in at the Denali, and he said to me, so what do you think about the mines? He says, can you get the mines up and running again? And so the conversation went, and when I came back out, there were like 4 of them. So we said I had a bit of a chuckle and moved on from there. But it is, it's the potential for change. It's like, the voters in the Grey District at the moment have never been in such a position of power and control.
This is their chance, isn't it?
This is their chance. A new mayor, there'll be a new CEO, hopefully there'll be a new council with a lot of new people. There's some great people standing.
I've seen that, yeah.
Big mix.
Yeah.
Tania's been a woman out on her own this last 3 years, so it would be very, very cool if there were actually some more women involved. Because you need a bigger perspective than a group of men. Not that I'm not against men at all, but just sort of that age group, that level of experience, and with experience comes ways of doing things. And we've always done it this way. And so, for me, it's like, rather than, just because we've always done it doesn't mean we have to keep doing it.
Now, Kay, I look at. I spend a lot of time in Westport, spend a lot of time, and obviously I live in Hoki and spend a lot of time here. I'm here 2 or 3 times a week. And the town, in my view, that's got the most potential on the coast, it's Greytown.
It is.
It is an amazing service centre. It's got so much potential, and there's so much growth, of course, in tourism. Do you... is that how you see it? Or
I absolutely see it like that, and I noticed that the new CBD renewal plan has come out. I found it in the council website under their agendas, current August, and there it is.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's a hugely aspirational document, when you look at it, and it's got a long time frame. But it's sort of, how do you eat an elephant? You have to do it a bite at a time.
Well,
you can't just rush in and do everything at once.
Yeah, it takes time, doesn't it?
Yes.
What are the challenges for the Grey District?
Well, they don't change much. It's just the priorities. We'll always have a low rating basis, but that means we need to be more responsible with our spending. So we'll always have the issues with where we are with the leasehold land. Stuart Nimmo once said we're being punished for our previous richness, because it's like places like Westport and Hokitika, their buildings were all built of wood, whereas here where the gold and the coal were, and all these guys getting rich, it's like, you're going to have a new building? Yes, I am. It's going to be brick and concrete. We're reaping that now.
Actually, what an interesting statement.
I actually went to see him after the meeting I was at, said, tell me more. And,
we must have been very poor in Hokitika, because most of ours are wooden.
I know. I don't think it's poor. I think probably this is where they landed most of the stuff, and again, that's why we're sitting right on the edge of the river with all the attendant worries that
Perhaps
go
the
with that,
stability. I wonder if it's more a long-term stability back then, whereas we were a town that went to 15,000 and then dropped to 3,000.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
Greymouth stays the same. Like, I mean, I don't think the population of Greymouth has changed very much in all the time I've known it.
Well, I've been some wonderful people born in Greymouth.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely.
I've heard that.
Now listen, challenges for council as we go forward. What are the challenges?
I think the challenge will have to be about changing the way we do things, changing the way things are done. It has to be a more open, inclusive, it has to be more trustworthy. The voters need to feel like what they're saying is important and it's actually considered. It's not enough to build a house and then say, we've built you a house, what colour do you want it to be, red or green? You actually have to know whether we want the house in the first place and whether it's going to be wood or brick and how big it's going to be. So, we need to start consulting earlier, okay?
Yeah.
We need to be working as a group and we need to have the same focus, which has got to be the best outcome for the Grey District. Well, bigger than that, it has to be the best outcome for the West Coast. And we need to have everybody, the other mayors, the other councils, share assets across. It's like with Westport with their dredge, we don't have to have a dredge because they've got one and we can borrow it, we can rent it, we can lease it.
Makes perfect sense.
And it's like there's so much capital tied up into it. If the thing costs you $500,000 to buy, well, why would you have one 100 kilometres down the road, for goodness sake? It just doesn't make any sense.
So, as we wind this interview up, and I guess the final question is, you get elected, what's your first priority?
To hit the ground running as a positive agent of change. Sounds like a sci-fi movie, doesn't it?
Well, Coasters,
Yeah.
there's a pretty inspirational sort of an interview, in my opinion. Kay Costley, she's sitting in the Northern Board for the Grey District Council in the 2019 local body elections. You can find her on our YouTube channel, you can find her on the Facebook, and if you go on the 20th of
September,
20th of September,
Men's Club,
if you go along, you'll be able to meet the lady in person.
and have hot chips and gravy.
Oh, and look, Kay, thanks so much once again for even accepting the offer. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure that the coasters watching, some won't be able to vote for you because they live somewhere else, but they'll be delighted to see you.
They'll be voting for me in spirit.
Catch you later.
Thank you very much, Bruce.